10:03, we'll call the meeting to order. Sergeant at Arms, I'm sorry, Ms. Clary.
At this time, I'd like to take a moment of silence for Eleanor Tripp, who, as we all know of her as Bob's mom, an incredibly special lady that impacted so many communities. And so let's just take that minute. Thank you all.
Wilson.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. In the event that we're called upon to evacuate the building, follow the signs to the nearest exit, safely proceed outside the building, move to a safe location, and wait further instructions. If you need assistance, please request. Follow all instructions from first responders. And if you would, please silence your cell phones. Thank you.
Get a roll call, please.
Mr. Hanky.
Here.
Mrs. Fedler. Here. Mr. Tall, Mr. Shaw,
Here.
Mr. Hall,
Here.
Mr. Fisher,
Here.
Mr. Baker,
Here.
Mr. Nolan, Mr. O'Brien,
Here.
Mr. Hahn,
Here.
Mr. Campbell,
Here.
Mr. Skelly,
Here.
Mr. Hogan,
Here.
Mr. Wilson,
Here.
Mrs. Clary,
Here.
Mr. Wang,
Here.
Mr. Rosell.
Here.
10:05. Notice is hereby given that the Washington County Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing in the Supervisors Chambers, Washington County Office Building B, Fort Edward, New York, on June 20th, 2025 at 10:05 a.m. to consider the adoption of proposed introductory local law B of 2025, a local law to repeal local law 7 of 2024, and enact an occupancy tax as authorized by act of the New York State Legislature. Copies of said introductory local law B of 2025 are available at on the county website and at the clerk of the board's office. All persons interested in the subject matter of proposed introductory local law B of 2025 will be heard at that time and place concerning the same.
Call the public meeting to order at 10:06. Is there anyone who wishes to be heard on local law B? Is there any member of the public who wishes to speak about local law B? And is there anyone in the audience who wishes to make their thoughts known on local law B? Having called for comment 3 times and received none, I will declare the public hearing closed.
Washington County Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing on June 20th, 2025 at 10:05 a.m. in the Board of Supervisors Chambers, Washington County Municipal Center, 383 Broadway, Fort Edward, New York, for the purpose of hearing public comments on Washington County's current community development block grant project, Washington County Housing Rehabilitation Program, funded in the amount of $500,000.
Laura and Nicole come up and give us a little summary of that, and then I'll call for comment.
Morning. So through Office of Community Renewal Regulations, we are required towards the end of a project to give the board and the public a summary in terms of the activity that's happened with the current project. So Nicole is here to give us a quick summary.
Thank you all very much. Through Washington County's current CDBG housing rehabilitation program, we've addressed some critical health, safety, and accessibility needs, most recently completing a substantial rehabilitation projects in Whitehall and in Greenwich. In Whitehall, we had a full gut rehabilitation and asbestos abatement for a severely deteriorated home, providing safe code-compliant housing for a low-income family with a permanently disabled child and 2 working parents. In Greenwich, we demolished a blighted former gas station and replaced it with a new modular home for a disabled adult, her child, and her working husband, who had previously been living in substandard conditions. Both households now reside in homes that meet ADA and energy efficiency standards with long-term affordability. In addition to that, between ARPA, Restore, and home funding this year alone, we were able to leverage and complete 23 additional projects across Washington County, including 17 repairs and rehabilitations, 2 accessibility modifications, and 5 modular and manufactured home demolition and replacements. In parallel, we're providing technical assistance as well as to 2 other nonprofits who are focused on downtown revitalization in Whitehall and Argyle, and supporting a 3-unit affordable housing development on Church Street in Granville. All of these homes that we've been assisting have been below 80% AMI with working family members. Those numbers for Washington County this year are about 53,000 per household up to 93,000 per household. And so we're very proud of these achievements, and we'll be happy to provide any additional details that the board may have.
Public who wishes to be heard on this matter. Calling for comment on this matter. And asking if there's anyone in the audience who wishes to comment on this matter. Having called for comment 3 times and heard none, I will declare the public hearing closed at 10:09. You guys stay where you are. And we'll do the next public hearing on the CDBG grants.
Washington County Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing on June 20th, 2025 at 10:05 a.m. at the Washington County Municipal Center, 383 Broadway, Fort Edward, New York, for the purpose of hearing public comments on Washington County's community development needs and to discuss the possible submission of a community development block grant application for the 2025 program year.
So having been successful with the first program, which is a 2-year program, as you just heard, that is winding down, we applied for $500,000 for that CDBG application. This year, we're looking to increase to the maximum ask of $750,000 to basically, and again, I will let Nicole talk about, it's essentially continuation of the same work.
So to that end, one of the main reasons why we want to apply for additional funding, not just because the current program was successful, we have over 100 families on our wait list. We had, at the time of application 2 years ago, 47 families, and now we have over 100. And part of that is a proof of success and need. We're more recognized throughout Washington County. Other people are seeing our signs up. They know that they can come to us and ask for assistance, so the wait list grows. Ideally, we would like to be able to reduce our wait list every year by 30%. So knocking off 27 families this year off our wait list is a huge success. But this pot of funding, the CDBG funding, which only the municipality can apply for, is one of the most flexible fundings in New York State. There's not a project cap. If we can go in and deal with any issue that we discover. So if the codes department, and I would like to congratulate Danielle Drinkwine, she works for the county. She's one of the code enforcement officers we work most closely with. If they go in midstream in a project and discover an undiscovered issue, this pot of funding allows us to address these undiscovered issues versus having to pause the project, go back out to bid, and search for additional funding. So it's a really unique funding, especially given how old your housing stock is in Washington County, some of the oldest housing stock in all of New York State. So this is the hope and intent behind this application, and I believe that will be successful since we've proven success over the past 2 years. If anybody has any questions.
Comment. Does anyone wish to be heard or ask questions about this? Any member of the public wish to speak at this public hearing? Having called for public comment 3 times and heard none, I'll declare the public hearing closed at 10:12. Thank you. We have a couple of presentations. I want to recognize Dalen Knowlton Morehouse, who is our Washington County SUNY ADK graduation award recipient this year. Is she here? Apparently not. Sue, do you want to say anything about her or not?
I
Don't make
have
a push
talked
on-
with her and she was intending to come, but she has a small child. And so I'm sure sometimes life gets in the way.
Sitting here, if you see her come in, let me know and we'll do a presentation right then.
That would be perfect. Thanks, Bob.
Now,
Chairman.
we're gonna have another presentation in just a second, but I want to jump out of order a little bit and jump down to the proclamations. You all have in your packet the proclamations for the valedictorians and salutatorians for Washington County. I signed until my arm fell off on that. And I signed until my arm fell off on another one because I want to do a proclamation recognizing the Argyle girls softball team. And I have Lexi Nazavera here, who was the coach. I'd like her to come to the front, please. For those of you who may not know Lexi, in addition to being an art teacher in Argyle and the very successful softball coach, she's also the daughter of Brian McWhorter, who retired from our highway department after almost 30 years of service. So, Lexi, being careful here because I've got one for every girl, every coach, and one for the school. Okay. And it says, whereas the Argyle High School softball team had an exceptional season this year, and whereas they were the Class 2 Section D champions, Class D regional champions, and Class D state finalists, and whereas throughout the season with many hard-fought games against some of the best teams in New York State, they displayed drive, unflagging determination, and more important to my mind, uncompromising good sportsmanship. That is big on my list and is really something this team displayed. Whereas the Washington County Board of Supervisors and people of Washington County in general are proud to have such wonderful representatives, now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Robert Henke, as Chairman of the Washington County Board of Supervisors, do hereby recognize the players. Now, and here we go. Sophie Depew, Charlotte Millington, Sunny Zuger, Ava Cormie, Grace Depew, Becca Helm, Brooke Austin, Riley Kobar, Kaylee Dennis, Alexis Anderson, Becca Campbell, and Laura Pegno, as well as head coach Lexi Nazavera, assistant coach Jared McDougall, volunteer assistants Kaylee Humiston, Dominique Rassinen, and Lizzie Richards for their superlative achievements, and furthermore, proclaimed that the Washington County Board of Supervisors thanks the Argyle softball team, parents, and supporters for being such consummate and accomplished emissaries of Washington County. And I mean that. They were a great bunch of girls. They were superlative winning, and they were superlative when they didn't win.
We have to do this again because we're a young team, so.
You wish to say anything, or are you going to pull
Well,
a Brian on me?
Just thank you for all the support. If you, if you followed us this season, great group of girls, very genuine, hardworking. And hopefully we'll be back next year. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Stand-
Thank you.
Stand still while Brian gets a
Okay.
picture. Sure.
Thanks. Thank you.
Since Lexi had to take time away from school to come here, I thought we'd speed that along a little bit. Thank you. I know. Okay, so we'll go back in order. We have a presentation from Sherry Galbraith, who's the director of the Washington County Home for Aged Women. You guys get something in every town every year about their grant program, but we thought this year perhaps we'd hear it a little more directly and maybe generate some enthusiasm. Yeah, right into that, Mike.
Thank you for having me. As Robert mentioned, each May, a letter goes out to each of you about our organization and with your suggestions of organizations that might qualify for our funding. And As a committee, we've just noticed that there hasn't been very many new inspired groups, and I'm sure there's need out there for each of your districts. Our corporation is for the care of aged, indigent, and infirm persons who are residents of Washington County. So of course, you all represent each of those districts in knowing your communities, knowing your needs, and knowing hopefully those individuals that represent those community programs that you could maybe reach out to specifically with this opportunity. It's my privilege to serve as director on this committee because it is, we have wonderful amount of funds every year that we go through applications. You do have to be a non-for-profit organization. The application is, it seems a little overwhelming, but it really isn't. And if you needed any help, or if your organization that you may reach out to would need any help, I'm certainly available as well. The letter would have come from our legal representation, but it's WCHAW@rlglawny.com, which is Rollins, LeBron, and Geismar. They are our legal representatives and they have the applications. I would also welcome if anyone wants to reach out to my email. It's slg7635@hotmail. And I would also be willing to facilitate, or if you have a suggestion that I would call on one of your local, programs that would have need. I'd be happy to meet with anybody to help them with the application or just give them guidance on the process. But we are hoping to, I appreciate your time today to just sort of reinitiate, so like Robert said, enthusiasm for this organization, because it really is a wonderful opportunity for each of your districts. And thank you for your time today.
Sherry, before you go.
Yes.
Is the application open to either nonprofits or church organizations?
Yes, churches as well. They are
Okay.
considered nonprofits. In fact, we do quite a few church, like handicap ramps, chairlifts, things like that, because it is geared towards the aging population. That was the wishes of the organization's beginnings. So we follow those guidelines of the need for the elderly in our communities.
I don't know how you pronounce that, the acronym, but it was a Cafe Lena on the road with elderly people. That sat together, that listened to music together. I want to thank you very much. It was a tremendous opportunity, and it was met with great joy and
Well, it's nice to hear that
So thank you.
that's the real crux of it, isn't it? Is really just bringing joy to these people and purpose. And we want to continue to do that as much as we can. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming,
you,
Sherry.
everyone.
Excuse me. Okay, you have the condensed minutes from May 16th, 2025 in your packet. I'll consider them accepted as mail unless there's any additions or corrections. Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, seeing none, they're hearing none, they'll be accepted as mail. Any communications?
Communications, Senator Stack acknowledged receipt of our resolution number 159 urging federal officials to consult with healthcare practitioners and elected officials on the localized effects of Medicaid spending reductions. That's all I have.
Thank you. Committee reports, audit committee? Moved by Supervisor Rozell, second. Fiddler, Hall, Baker, Terry, Wang, and Nolan. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Supervisor's privilege. Anybody want privilege of the floor? Okay. Need a motion to set aside the rules for resolution 183 and the clerk, have the clerk read the resolves only, starting with 183. Moved by Mr. O'Brien, second by Mr. Hall. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 183 by Supervisor Skelly, titled Resolution Urging the State of New York to Promptly Transfer State-Ready Inmates from County Jails to State Correctional Facilities and fully reimburse counties for related costs. Resolved that the Washington County Board of Supervisors calls on the State of New York to immediately resume timely transfers of all state-ready inmates from county jails to state correctional facilities in accordance with existing law, and be it further resolved that the state must reimburse counties at the full and actual cost of housing each state-ready inmate until such time as the individual is transferred to state custody. And be it further resolved that copies of this resolution shall be forwarded to Governor Kathy Hochul, Senate President Andrea Stewart Cousins, Speaker Carl Heastie, State Senators Jake Aspey and Dan Stack, Assembly Members Matt Simpson, Kerry Warner, and Scott Bendet, the Commissioner of Docks, and all others deemed necessary and proper.
Recess, even though you're all, I presume, completely exhausted by having had your picture taken. So we'll move right down to consideration of regulation resolutions.
Resolution number 160 by Supervisors O'Brien, Shaw, Roselle, Hall, Wang, titled to approve and adopt Washington County Vehicle Use Policy.
Chairman, moving resolution 160.
Supervisor O'Brien, there's second. Fedler, Hall, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 161 by Supervisors Shaw, Clary, Campbell, Skelly, Baker, titled to designate representative signature certifier and administrator for United States Department of Agriculture online application and intake system for telecommunications programs and online financial reporting and compliance system.
Mr. Chairman, moving resolution 161.
Supervisor Shaw, second. Fedler, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Campbell, Skelly, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 162 by Supervisors O'Brien, Shaw, Roselle, Hall, Wang, titled to authorize a communications license and right-of-way with Slick Network Solutions LLC.
Resolution number 162.
By Supervisor O'Brien, second. Fedler, Hall, Hahn, Campbell, Wang, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Am I going too fast?
Resolution number 163 by Supervisors Shaw, Clary, Campbell, Skelly, Baker, title reappointment to the Workforce Development Board.
Mr. Chairman, moving resolution 163.
Supervisor Shaw, second. Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, Campbell, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 164 by Supervisor Shaw, Clary, Campbell, Skelly, Baker, title to adopt introductory local law B of 2025.
Mr. Chairman, moving resolution 164.
Supervisor Shaw, second. Fedler, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Campbell, Skelly, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. This is a roll call.
Mr. Henke,
Yes.
Mrs. Fedler, Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Hall,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Baker,
Yes.
Mr. Nolan,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Hahn, Mr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Skelly,
Yes.
Mr. Hogan, Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mrs. Clary, Mr. Wang,
Yes.
Mr. Rozell.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. 4,646 yes, 44 absent. Resolution number 165 by Supervisors Skelly, O'Brien, Shaw, Roselle, Fisher, Baker, Wang, title accepting dedication of sanitary sewer line by Washington County Sewer District 2 from Irving Tissue.
Supervisor Skelly, second. Fedler, Hall, Fisher, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, Campbell, Wilson, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 166 by Supervisors Skelly, Roselle, Baker, Hahn, title authorizing waiver of voucher policy for payment of medical and behavioral health services, Sheriff's Department.
Supervisor Skelly, second. Fedler, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 167 by Supervisors Skelly, O'Brien, Shaw, Roselle, Fisher, Baker, Wang, titled to authorize purchase of a mini excavator via Sourcewell contract.
Hall, Fisher, Baker, O'Brien, Campbell, Wilson, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I'm sorry. You're a no? Okay, I'm sorry.
Resolution number 168 by Supervisors Campbell, Roselle, O'Brien, Clary, Hall, Tall, title set time and place for a public hearing concerning the 2025-2026 Adirondack Community College budget.
Moving resolution number 168.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is that Mr. Hogan? Yes. Nay. Carried.
Resolution number 169 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title amend 2025 budget, Board of Elections for mail ballot grant.
Moving 169.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 170 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title amend 2025 budget, County Road Fund for CHIPS increase and rollover funds.
Moving resolution 170.
By Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 171 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title amend budget, Sheriff for Canal Grant.
Moving 171.
By Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 172 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title amend budget, assign counsel for ILS Third Party Defense Quality Improvement and Caseload Reduction Grant 2025.
172.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 173 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title amend budget, Office for the Aging for the Community Connections publication.
Moving 173.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Hogan, nay. Wasn't you? Who was it? Okay. Mr. Hahn, nay. I knew one of you negative guys did it. I didn't know which one.
They do border each other.
Yeah.
You just about beat us.
Resolution number 174 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title amend budget for psychiatric expense.
Moving 174.
Campbell, second. Hall, Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. We have a exact point at which this became an unfunded mandate in your second whereas there. From 100% state to 100% county. And it's an incredible cost, and it's something that's not part of county law, it's part of state regulation. I object strongly to an unfunded mandate. Any other comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
A lackluster aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Better count them. Now let's roll call. Well, wait till my supervisor's comments at the end. Then we'll see.
Mr. Hanky,
No.
Mrs. Fedler, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Hall,
No.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Baker,
No.
Mr. Nolan,
No.
Mr. O'Brien, Mr.
No.
Mr. Campbell,
No.
Mr. Skelly,
No.
Mr. Hogan, Mr. Wilson, Mrs. Clary,
No.
Mr. Wang,
No.
Mr. Rozell. The resolution is defeated, 814 yes, 3,832 no, and 44 absent. Oh, wait a minute, that's Nolan, Rozell was a no, right? Okay, we're back. All right. 482 yes, 4,165 no, and 44 absent. I stand corrected.
Question. I think the answer is probably yes. We're probably going to have to pay it no matter what, but there's some legal maneuvering that's gone on just recently, I think might bear on this. I'll talk about that in my comments at the end.
Resolution number 175 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title to amend title by grade schedule to establish pay rates for special patrol officers.
Moving 175.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. This is a roll call.
Mr. Hanky,
Yes.
Mrs. Fedler, Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Hall,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Baker,
Yes.
Mr. Nolan,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Hahn,
Yes.
Mr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Skelly,
Yes.
Mr. Hogan, Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mrs. Clary, Mr. Wang, Mr. Rozell.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted, 4,646 yes, 44 absent. Resolution number 176 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title make appointment to the Workforce Development Board.
Moving 176.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 178 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title rescind resolution number 83 of 2025 and amend county clerk budget to carry over unspent local government records management improvement fund grant.
Moving resolution 178.
We're on 177. I thought we said 177.
Oh, that's it.
Mr. Chairman, respectively move resolution number 177.
It's at the bottom of the page. My mistake.
You want to read it first?
Resolution number 177 by Supervisors Hall, Campbell, O'Brien, Skelly, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, to reappoint personnel officer.
Chairman, once again, I move resolution number 177.
By Supervisor Hall, that's undoubtedly my fault somehow. Second. Bedler. O'Brien, Hahn, Campbell, Skelly, Hogan, Wilson, Clary, Roselle, and Noland. And Shaw. Discussion. This is an incredibly appropriate appointment. Not only is she very, and Clary, not only is this incredibly important, you want to speak? Well, wait a minute. Incredibly important, not only because Danielle's doing a great job, but also because she's from Argyle. And you know how I am about appointing Argyle people. Ms. Cleary. Oh, okay.
I noticed in the resolution, it says the town of Argyle, but she does so much for all the other towns in Washington County that, you know, we really appreciate her service.
Yes, I think we've done well with that appointment. Any other comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, you've already read this. We can just go on.
Okay, all right.
Move 178.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Bedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 179 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title to authorize the county attorney to file an amicus brief with the Court of Appeals in the County of Onondaga versus State of New York.
Moving 179.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Bedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, Roselle, and Noland. Discussion. I'm very glad we're doing this. My comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 180 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title amend capital project number 130, barn repairs and replacements for change order for site construction contractor.
Moving resolution 180.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Bedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. All those, oh, I'm sorry.
Just want to make clear, I'm no relation to Roselle Industries.
Oh, the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because the Argyle Rosells are different. If I point any of them, they spell it different, so we're all right. Did a comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And by the way, that's exactly the way the disclosure is supposed to go when there's something like that. Good job.
Resolution number 181 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, title to authorize the cancellation and exemption of a certain parcel located in the town of Whitehall from taxation pursuant to real property tax law, Article 11, Section 1138.
Moving resolution 181.
By Supervisor Campbell, second. Bedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary, Roselle, and Noland. Discussion. Mr. Hogan.
This is a property in Whitehall that the house basically fell in. And so the property is currently in a state where it has to be cleaned up by the village. The village is applying for a grant that they have to have ownership of the property in order to be able to clean it up. If we could take it through tax foreclosure process, and then we would be stuck with trying to clean it up and then trying to sell it thereafter, which we may not get anything out of it this way. The village gets the grant, the village cleans it up, and if at some point they sell it, we then get money back at the end.
Further discussion. Mr. Shaw.
When you look at the numbers here, your last one where it says total, is that what's being charged back to y'all, to all the municipalities? Or is it something, or is it before the penalties and interest? What gets charged back? I know probably Al would be the one that would best.
I'll be the one. I don't think I don't,
Well, neither Al or Becky are here.
yeah, I don't believe I know the answer.
I'm just curious. So 4,800 would not have the interest and penalties in it, correct? Because otherwise you'd have 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. Is that what it is, the total for the village? I was just wondering what we're getting back, what number, if it's, all this is being charged back. Mm-hmm. But,
Doubtful there'll be any surplus, just so everybody knows.
thank you.
Comment? Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 182 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Clary Hall, Wilson, Nolan, Tall, titled to dispose of county-owned property, Burquist Road, Town of Fort Ann.
Moving 182.
Ryan, Clary, and Noland. Discussion. Mr. Campbell.
Just want to bring to mind that there's a similar situation in White Creek that'll be coming to us in the near future. So just remember, they want to do the same exact thing for the same exact reason.
Also, a roll call and it must pass by 2/3 majority. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Hanky?
Yes.
Mrs. Fedler? Mr. Shaw? Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Nolan?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Hahn?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Skelly?
Yes.
Mr. Hogan?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mrs. Clary?
Yes.
Mr. Wang?
Yes.
Mr. Rozell? The resolution is adopted by 4,387 yes, 39 absent. Resolution number 183 by Supervisor Skelly, titled Resolution Urging the State of New York to Promptly Transfer State-Ready Inmates from county jails to state correctional facilities and fully reimburse counties for related costs.
Supervisor Skelly, second. Fedler, Hall. Whoops. Fish. Brian, Hahn, Campbell. Wilson, Clary, Wang, and Noland. Discussion. Under discussion, I think I'd say this, was always intended to be a very short-term sort of a thing, mostly due to the nature of the offenses that are going to state prisons, and right now they owe us something like $30,000. I'd like to give Dan a pat on the back for essentially putting this together. He had to. There's other ones around Orleans County doing one, and there's the NICO's got one, the Sheriff's Association's got one. I think Dan put together a real good one out of all of those, so.
I'd like to take credit, but nice, I put most of it together. I only really changed a couple things.
Take credit when it's, yeah. All right. Oh, Mr. Campbell.
I'd just like to say this is a result of them closing prisons. They got no place for them to go, so we get to keep them and then they don't pay us. So we get the double whammy on this one.
Up 30 grand in the hole right now that we've billed them and haven't got it back. Mr. Shaw.
Just maybe a little better understanding. It says here that the state pays $100 per day. Is there a cost number of what the county it's costing the county to house these? $300 a day? Oh, okay. Yes, I missed the top line. Okay, thank you.
Trying to figure out the Medicaid aspect of this, because in audit, I know I signed a form for $9,700 for one. And it could have been one that was due to go to the state or not. You know, you can't tell from an audit, but I do know that, it wasn't a substantial.
Fairly possible. And we certainly also have all their medical, while they're in our jail, so. Further comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution, supervisors' comments. Huh, quiet bunch today. No supervisors' comments? Well, yes, sir. I wanted to thank Sue for the moment of silence for my mother, and I also wanted to thank everybody that came. I think she would have been quite impressed by the supervisors and department heads and county employees and town employees and stuff that came through that line. We were there almost 2 hours and people were still coming in at the end. I was quite impressed by that. And I want to thank every one of you that came and those that sent their expressions and things. I appreciate that. On the same sort of sad note, right now I'm missing a funeral for Gary Gilcrease from the town of Argyle. Gary was a veteran and very big in the Legion. Gary's the one that always organized the Memorial Day Parade, and he's the one that got the whole bunch of wheelchairs and walkers and things like that to give out to community members that needed them, that the Legion provides and takes back. He was also the one that coordinated all the flags on the veterans' graves in all the cemeteries, and they do a terrific job. I think probably your communities do too, but boy, they don't miss any little tiny cemeteries in Argyle. They do a wonderful job. That was all on Gary. He's going down to the Solomon Cemetery. He's probably there right now. Actually, they had a honor guard and motorcycles and all kinds of things. The only other thing I'd point out about Gary is he was one of the best baseball players I ever saw. He could still go up to the batting cages like George, and at 75 years old and still get him at 90 miles an hour. He was a great ball player, so we're going to miss Gary. And I wanted to point out that there was a finding yesterday in district court, I believe in Rhode Island, that said that the federal government cannot withhold funding from states for non-compliance with mandates, because that was an unconstitutional holding of funds that had been designated by legislation. I think the same thing probably holds with us. We've always not wanted to do an unfunded mandate, say we're not paying it, we're just not going to do it. I've been trying to advocate that for some time and at least pick something small and see what happens. We did pick one small and the state zapped us. I think this finding, may negate that. We might find out here pretty soon the way you guys voted today, but that's an interesting finding. I haven't had a chance to read it. Just the news just came out on it this morning. But if it can't be done on a federal level, it certainly can't be done on a state level, I wouldn't think. So stay tuned, but that's a good finding. Anything else? Anybody think of anything? Okay. Shaw.
By order of the chairman of the Washington County Board of Supervisors, Robert Hinkie, I declare this meeting adjourned and stand adjourned until July 18th at 10 a.m. unless specially convened, in which case due and timely notice will be given to all.
We're adjourned at 10:15.